Ms. Piquemale-Prade, the markets are in turmoil, highly volatile and most insecure. What is the investment strategy you approach in your funds?
We believe that in uncertain times, you've got to stick to what you know. What we know is that over the long term, stocks are going to go up together with EPS growth. So we come back to the fundamentals of the company. We spend most of our time talking to companies as much as we can. We go around to go away from the panic that we face if you watch TV, if you read the news today, in order to understand what is going on the field. If you look at the EPS growth of our companies, it should be at around 12% in 2012, while we are talking about maybe 5% growth globally for stocks in the world. And I believe that this is key to build a portfolio today in uncertain times. Go back to the fundamentals, go back to the companies, go back to innovation, go back to growth. This is where you're going to be able to make a difference.
Are fund managers at Comgest looking for very new opportunities, or is it all about being on the safe side, being risk averse?
No, we always believe that at uncertain times, the world is full of opportunities. It is when the others are afraid that you find very good companies that nobody is working on. So what we do is really we travel, we go and meet the companies. So I was in Asia, and I believe that after 2 years of bear market in China, for example, you've got today very good opportunities to buy very strong companies. The other country where we spend a lot of time today is Japan. As you know, you've had a tsunami, an earthquake, a nuclear crisis, so everybody's afraid to go there. I went to Japan a few weeks ago because of the radiation fears. I must say that I was a bit alone there. But so the companies were more than open to meet me, spend time with me, explain to me the strengths of their franchise, the strengths of their business models. And so I believe it's a very good time, if you want to build a portfolio for 10 years, to buy Japanese equities today, because they've got a very strong exposure to the emerging markets, and they suffer from the fact that their headquarters are in Tokyo and not in Mumbai or in Hong Kong.
Mentioning Japan as an investment market is very interesting. What are the sectors you would particularly go into in Japan?
Yeah, Japan is a peculiarly unloved market. When you talk about Japan to the people, they think that, oh, anyway, there's no growth there. We all know about it. You know, demography is declining. They've got plenty of debt. So don't even think about investing in this market. And anyway, you've had 20 years of bear market. So everybody believes that this is not an interesting market at all. But I believe that you've got very good franchise there. They have been able to deal with 20 years of deflation already. 20 years of very tough economic environment. So they've been able to increase productivity, reduce costs. And if you look at the Japanese ROE today, the companies do offer 10% ROE, which is actually quite high on average. And the free cash flow generation of Japanese companies is around 10% as well today. So it's very high and very far from the usual image you've got in mind when you think about Japanese corporations. When it comes to sectors, we really like technology companies, companies like Canon, that do have a very strong international franchise. They sell printers all around the world. If you've got a printer in your office, it has to be a Canon printer. They've got 50% market share. And what is good is that you're going to replace your cartridges each and every month, and you will buy a Canon cartridge for your printer. So it means that the visibility on Canon EPS earnings is very high, and this is what we want. And I believe that in Japan you find very strong technology international franchise. And on top of it, as I was mentioning before, they're very good at industrial companies, and at industrial companies with very high exposure to the emerging markets. Companies like Daikin, a leader in air conditioning, generating 80% of their profits in emerging markets, and Suzuki Motor generating 70% of their profits in emerging markets as well, with a leading brand in India.